So I am back to the coastal road today, 6th June 20. It's a Friday, public holiday. I'm supposed to be at home enjoying the holiday like every other person. But because Reno, I hope he doesn't make a mockery of his family name, lied that he stood alongside Professor Wole Soyinka to take picture at 30th kilometer and that they drove up to this point. That is exactly why I'm back. This is 30th kilometer and you can see it. Prove it. No be me Makam. No be me Makam. This is the project marking by the contractor. The construction engineer marked this by themselves. I only have two questions for Egbon, Reno, Wendell Simley. You know what I mean. Number one question. Do you know better than the contractor, the construction engineer, who said all they have done so far and they summed up to 30 was nearly 20 kilometers coming from VI to Lekki corridor and another nearly 10 kilometers. I'm sure that if we go to calculate the nearly 20 kilometers, if you don't even reach 15, the one that I've calculated so far that I went and drove and I saw the change marking was even the nearly 10. So that's number one question for you. Do you know better than the engineer who by himself confessed? I understand that the minister, out of sheer overzealousness, trying to impress everybody and the president, claimed that they had done 30. But even on the day of that, your ceremony, the engineer said, yes, even though they advertised that they are commissioning 30 kilometers, all they had done was nearly 20 in one part, another nearly 10 in another part. But you, Reno, you want to claim that you know better than that engineer. Prove it. That's number one. Number two question is, this corridor is along coastal villages. In which village is kilometer 30? Me, I know it because I have come here now and I came in through Ekwakete. Prove it to me that you and Professor Wole Soyinka drove to this point. Where did you pass to drive to this point? From VI to come and show you sat in a cozy car inside convoy and you are claiming that you came to this place to come and snap. How did you get here? Look at the road now. Look at the, this is kilometer 30. They have not even sandfilled up to the required height, let alone of compacting it, and let alone of concrete pavement. In fact, there are some places, if you go further, I will show you. By the time you get to Iwerekun now, you will see behind the palace, they have not even cleared it, let alone of sandfill, let alone of connecting it. So when I say it's disjointed here and there, they skip some places, they sandfill it, they impress themselves. They skip another kilometers, they sandfill it, they impress themselves. From VI to Okwaja, Musirikogo, Moko 1, Moko 2, Ekwakete, Iwerekun, Awofin, Odushina, Jegi, Solo Rumija, Solo Alade, Igodo, Debojo, to Eleko. I know this corridor to an extent. Reno, tell me in which village is that kilometer 30? And by the way, to those APC online urchins, those data boys, I pity you. It is ignorance that is making you to be collecting 10,000 data allowance to come and be attacking us. You think it's about me? You can lie on paper, you can lie in documents, you can lie in whatever appropriation you are doing, because citizens have no access to verifying or cross-checking. But this is road now, public place. You think people will not go and check? No, like you think we will not check? Reno, you drove to kilometer 30. Show us video of you at kilometer 30. Just show us. Show us video of you at kilometer 30. This is me, 6th of June, 2025. Friday, public holiday. So Reno, after picking and twisting quotable quotes that you pick from books just to grow your online followers, you now start filling them with political lies. Me, I go boss if you try me. It's not just about the road not reaching the 30 kilometers as claimed. I also raised important question. The original alignment for the coastal road is still there in the swamp. It's there. But they dislodged and displaced people from this to the old. If you are claiming that truly it is because of geophysical reasons or technical or whatever reason that you have to realign the road to this place, the right thing to have done therefore is to say, okay, we are displacing you from here. You go and take the original alignment and resettle there. Isn't that? That is the only way to have proven to us that truly it is because of geophysical or other technical reason that you are, not because you want to grab land under guise of road construction. So APC urchins, you are defending it today. By the time it is your turn tomorrow, you no longer have the moral justification to condemn it, because by that time you will be alone. Other persons would have taken their own, they would have licked it and moved on. It will be your own portion that time. Point number 3 I raised in that video, but all of you are shying away from, is the toll. And don't come and tell me when they finish the road, don't drive it, don't use it. They are constructing it with public fund, and we are still going to be paying toll on it. Did you hear that? So don't tell me I cannot talk about what the government is using our money to do. How much toll is fair to pay for citizens in a country that minimum wage is barely 70,000 naira? Ask your politicians, how many tolling points are they looking to install between VI and Eleko, and how much per vehicle? Point number 4 is about the shoulders. You think your life ends on typing on social media? If you also be using this road and you are going to be driving from VI to Calabar without our shoulder, instead of you to be asking important questions, you are saying, no, it's trying to discredit government. Nobody is trying to discredit government. You are saying government should not be exaggerating what they have done. We know you just wanted to have something to say that you did, or to celebrate on May 29. That was why you hurriedly came, even after advertising the lie that you wanted to commission the 30 kilometers completed. The engineer still said that day when he was making his speech that nearly 20 in one place and nearly 10. Imagine if you now go to that nearly 20 and calculate it. If you are in that area, I challenge you, please go there, go and calculate how many kilometers. Go and look at the chainage marking. You will see. Then let us add it to the 6.2 from Eleko inward. You will see the truth of how many kilometers they have actually commissioned. Okay, for instance, now look right behind me. This is around kilometer 33. And this is Iwerekun village. And I tell you that this place is just cleared. It's not yet sandfield at about kilometer 33. It's not yet sandfield at all. They just cleared it and left it. So work has not even reached there. If you say work is progressing, I understand it. But to now come and lie that you have done something and you have completed and you are commissioning what you have not even... This is Iwerekun. You can come. Iwerekun village. I'm naming names. Iwerekun village. I am giving names. Iwerekun. Come here. This is the coastal road. This is the coastal road corridor. Look at the alignment. See it. They cleared it and marked it. But they have not even sandfield, let alone of compact or concrete pavement. Work in progress, fine. But don't lie. Now, this is Iwerekun Palace. And right at my front is where another piece of sandfield stopped. You can see that I showed you previously where they cleared without sandfield. They skipped and sandfilled this place. But after this place, look at the road that leads to Iwerekun. And right behind me is just behind the palace. They have not even cleared at all. They have not even cleared it at all, let alone of sandfield. So now tell me, they have not even linked it by clearing and sandfilling. Sandfield and clearing has not even linked up to Eleko. So it's just pieces of sandfield here, clearing here, paving here that they are commissioning. Work in progress, fine, but don't lie. Don't lie. They have not even linked it to Eleko. They have not linked it. This is Iwerekun. This is sandfield here. They have not even cleared here. And you are claiming you have done. Reno, now you start time. Now you start time, so I go cast now. Shout out to Rufai Oseni. But Reno, next time, look at the person who made a post before you react to it. I don't do studio or wheelchair altercation. I'm a field man. I do objective facts. So, Reno, you all saw the video of the commissioning. They said 30 kilometers. First of all, I expected that the president would be on the road alongside the minister. To be driving along the kilometer stretch they said they have completed, at least to give people confidence. But instead, what I saw was that they all boxed themselves in a conference room and they were impressing themselves by showing drone footage of whatever they said they have done at the projector screen. But I am here on the road now, 3rd of June, 5 days after that ceremony. I am here to show you that the 30 kilometers they claim that they have done.
The highway already has 30 kilometers completed, nearly 20 kilometers from Victoria Island eastward towards Lekki Corridor, and nearly 10 kilometers from Eleko heading westward.
20 kilometers they said from VI to Eleko Corridor. The remaining 10 kilometers they said from Eleko inward. Gentlemen and ladies, I am at chainage 41.230 kilometers and Eleko junction is chainage 47.5. If you do the subtraction, apart from my odometer showing 6 kilometers and a little above it, because I drove in through a community road, this chainage is showing at this point where I am standing chainage 41.230. If you do the maths, what you have is 6.2 something kilometers. That simply means that the claim that they have completed 10 kilometers from Eleko into this place is not true. Today is 3rd of June. You can come in tomorrow, 4th of June, come and do your own. And by the way, did they just do the commissioning in order to give us that impression and everybody disappears? Because I can't even see the paver again. Have they stopped work? So in case you are thinking, oh, they have done 30 kilometers, I want to drive from VI, I want to go to Eleko. They are not together. They are disjointed like different pieces. Some kilometers here, some kilometers here. That's what they did. You are coming from Eleko, you just reach this point. Chakam, middle of nowhere. Point 2 that I expected us to be discussing is that they have said that by December, they are going to be tolling this road. And they are projecting around 3K per vehicle. We do not know for certain yet how many tolling points are going to be between VI and Eleko. If there are 2, that simply means 6,000 from VI to Eleko. And if you are going back another 6,000, that's 12,000 naira. No fuel inclusive, no other cost inclusive. And if you are a salary earner, what is minimum wage again? In a month, you would have spent how much just to go and come? Although it has its own benefit too, it would have relieved the Lekki-Epe Expressway of huge traffic or the volume of traffic on that route. It would have done a lot of things to, yes, it will link eventually, if the claim is true, that they want to truly link this road to Calabar. They would have saved a lot of hours in travel time. But if speculations are right, that the only thing the federal government wanted to achieve is just to link the Eko Atlantic City with Dangote Refinery and the Lekki Free Trade Zone, as well as the Lekki Deep Sea Port, then congratulations, the federal government has succeeded, because by December, according to what I'm seeing, they are likely to complete this section of it. Then congratulations. But we are going to continue to monitor afterwards to be sure that this is actually going to reach Calabar. Another point I expected us to be discussing is what are the costs in real sense of it that this road is to Nigerians. First of all, do you know that this is not the original alignment of the road? The original alignment of the road is actually inside. You can see the forest. Yes, the original alignment is there. So they use the original alignment to claim land inside that forest, and it is still there. And they realigned the road to this place. Do you know how many people, estate investors, who bought land here, including homeowners, those whose retirement savings were used to buy portions of land here, that they have to move? They were swept completely off. Some of them started protesting at the time. At the point, we didn't hear from some of them again. Some of them fell sick. Some of them developed high blood pressure. Some of them, I don't even hear from them again. I don't know whether they are still alive. And for those who even got compensation, somebody told me he got 1% of the value of the property from where it was displaced. And if you recall, there's still a woman that till today, she is still protesting. That woman, for context, is the one that Minister David Umahi asked security to throw out from the security lately. Till today, I see some of her videos coming up once in a while where she's still pleading with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying, I'm a party member, I mobilize for you in the diaspora, I do a lot of things, blah, blah. If somebody as strong as that in President's campaign committee suffers like that, but that notwithstanding, for those of you who have been receiving a lot of promises to say, oh, come and buy land by the coastal road. If you see anybody marketing any coastal road to you, any land along the coast, please check and recheck, because the old alignment of this coastal road that they used to claim is still there in the forest. So you have to be very sure it is not the land that the Minister David Umahi says he wants to sell. Actually,
The moment we finish this road, we are going to deploy it by way of tolling it, by way of making available the land, we are going to have along the corridor.
By my speculation, they are going to be selling to banks, filling stations, hotels, and other service outlets. Because of security risk along such highway, I want to hope that there will be sufficient number of police stations as well as military barracks in order to be able to give people some safety and confidence. And lastly, I want to ask, why is it that lately all the roads that they are constructing in this country, there will be no shoulder? Like no lay-by, nowhere to park, no vehicle. So are you simply saying that from Lagos to Calabar, somebody's road vehicle must not develop fault or even break down? Or you must not even slow down to say you want to receive a call? Because these are just three lanes on both sides. So I see no reason why we are not discussing all of this important, or are they not important? Because I see what you are discussing is, oh, the president should have greeted the governor. He should not have snubbed him. Oh, when these people get back into their private, They'll be laughing at what you are discussing because they have completely distracted you from all of the points I suppose. Even me, I've not exhausted all the important topics about this room. Even though at the end of the day, it is still going to be beneficial to people because, for instance, those who have maybe 20 plots and they took 15 plots for the road, your remaining 5 plots, whatever you use it to do, will still be of value. In fact, it will have increased the value. So to an extent, you can discuss that it's going to open up this place, it's going to increase businesses, economy is going to sprout, and a lot of things are going. Yes, overall, it's a laudable project, but we have to be discussing other impact it is going to have. Was there even a proper environmental impact assessment, and where are the reports? I'm just trying to avoid the anyhowness of things in this country, but it is what it is. We all must not even stop after the commission. We must all continue to torchlight, to probe, to ask questions, to screen. Are they, for instance, right now, where are the pavers? Did they just commission and disappear? I expected that after the commissioning, they should continue. This is just 6.27 kilometers from Eleko. It's not up to the 10 kilometers they claim. And the pavers are nowhere to be found. They've disappeared. Let us focus on the real issues and discuss important subjects around every topic they throw at us. Instead of, oh, the president should have greeted the governor. He didn't greet him well. That was a snub, a whole governor. You're mad like a poor.
Umahi should be prosecuted for these lies that he told. In fact, it's not one lie, several lies. But let's pick them out one after the other.
Let me say this and make it very clear, and before God I serve. Mr. President never had anything to do with the procurement process.
And he used the name of God to lie. That pains me the most. How many of you remember that question of cost per kilometer?
Cost per kilometer.
You have not started permanent work.
Cost per kilometer.
That contract.
Minister,
and
cost
this is what
per
you are
kilometer.
doing to
Cost per kilometer. Just give me the number. Cost per kilometer in this first 30 kilometers. Quickly, Minister. Cost per kilometer.
Well, Senator Umahi, I will go ahead with my question. Cost per kilometer, that can be communicated elsewhere, outside morning show.
Umahi was reluctant to answer that question of cost per kilometer. He was reluctant. But then he went ahead to say this.
And I had run the value for money, and I had made it clear that a kilometer, cost 4 billion. But if you look at the cost, of the coastal highway and compare it to the cost of some of the inherited projects, like the LMO we are constructing, 30 kilometers, 156 billion. Okay. So I can beat my chest and say, look, the LMO costs more, the Abuja Kano costs more, as inherited, the Bodo Boni costs more as inherited.
Then after saying 4 billion per kilometer for the first 47.47 kilometer of the coastal highway, mind you, that road is about 700 kilometers long. 700 from Lagos to Calabar. 700. But the first section of that road is what he was referring to when he said it is 4 billion naira per kilometer. But then again, he went on to say this.
So I ran the figures. Rufai, the first 47.47 kilometer of the Section 1 Coastal Highway was awarded at 1.068 trillion.
From this answer now, that shows you that that first section is actually awarded at the rate of, not at the rate, was awarded for 1.068 trillion naira for 47.47 kilometer. Now, what does that now tell you? If you divide 1 trillion by 47 kilometer, will it give you 4 billion naira per kilometer? Do the math, because from my end, it didn't. It came to about 22 billion naira per kilometer. 22 billion naira per kilometer. This is a lie that our Honorable Minister for Works told. Shameful, but he told that lie. Now, here is another thing that he said that I find very annoying as a citizen.
Let me say this and make it very clear, and before God I serve. Mr. President never had anything to do with the procurement process.
Are you talking to fools in Nigeria, people who are not educated? What is the essence of the Federal Executive Council meeting? So you want to say that you presented that bill, that memo at the Federal Executive Council, and the president that presides over that meeting did not have any input, and he just awarded a contract for several trillions of naira without any input? Come on, Mr. Minister. This is not honorable. Now, here's another one that I think you should be prosecuted for. You said you invited High Tech to come and do the job because they had done a fantastic job before. Now, how coincidental is it that you have a multi-trillion naira contract that is awarded to the friend of the president, presented at the Federal Executive Council, and the president had no input, and you awarded it solely to High Tech, and you are coming to sing praises for High Tech? And in doing so, don't you see that you have confessed to breaching Nigeria's Public Procurement Act?
Mr. President never had anything to do with the procurement process. There are three definitive procurement process, and the first one is total restrictive procurement process. And what it is that if you have a job to build an aeroplane now in Nigeria, and you have only one person who had built that kind of aeroplane, you can call him to negotiate with the person, and then give the job to the person. And of course, you have to consider what such plane is being built outside the country, and then bring the cultural factor and the location factor into play. And so when we were to do this coastal highway, we looked at who is the person working with Mr. President. And so we looked at who is that company that tamed the Atlantic Ocean and turned the menace into Greece, where we have a wonderland that could be compared to Dubai, the Eco-Atlantic. And what came to our mind was High Tech. And so we now invited High Tech under restrictive procurement for sections 1 and 2. And that's what we did.
But then again, you went on to say, oh, High Tech was called because you were doing restricted bidding. Have you read the Procurement Act? Have you read it at all? That you cannot do restricted bidding and call only High Tech? You can't do that. You breached the Procurement Act, and that is 5 years in prison. You should be prosecuted for it. We will do a petition on this one. You must answer for it. You must. This cannot continue. People like Umahi, and there are many of them, majority of the politicians in Nigeria now, they don't care about telling truth on TV anymore. They don't. Because they feel like Nigerians will not bother. But let me tell you, on this one, me, I will bother. I will bother. You must be prosecuted for this. And if found culpable, you should go to jail for it. Somebody might laugh and say, oh, minister, no. Look, these people, yes, they feel they are above the law, but they still hide behind the law. You hear him talking about following the Procurement Act, but it is clear that from his statement alone, he breached it. So it is for us to bring it up. Talk to the Senate committee, talk to the EFCC, talk to ICPC, even go to court, get an order of mandamus, and make sure that he's prosecuted. Let us shine light on it and show to the whole Nigerians how a minister came on national TV and told lies. There is another lie that I will show to you. This one is with the Ministry of Trade and Investment. These people are lying, but their lies have gone on for too long. We cannot take it anymore. It is because of this that we have decided to set up Law Patrol. We need to enforce the rule of law. Because without the rule of law, we don't have a society. What we will have is what we have now. And Thomas Hobbes described it many, many hundreds of years ago, that when there is no rule of law, life is nasty, brutish, and short. Is that not what we have in Nigeria? So if we will have a society that works, everybody must respect rule of law. Everybody must follow due process. Whether you are a president, whether you are a minister, no matter who you are, you cannot be seen to be flouting the law. When you do that, you destroy the fabric of society. You destroy what makes a society a society. And before you know it, society breaks down. DSS, please take note of this. This can break down security in Nigeria. So we must take action. On this one, concerning Umahi, later we are going to the Ministry of Trade and Investment. So, let's talk about Project Eagle. What is Project Eagle? How is it that Project Eagle can completely check election rigging in Nigeria? How? Why is it that Peter Obi or any other opposition candidate for that matter, indeed, any patriotic Nigerian needs Project Eagle to successfully check election rigging in Nigeria? How? Let us break down the different components of Project Eagle. First of all, Project Eagle is a 7-action plan project to stop election rigging in Nigeria. 7-action plan, starting from 1 right through to 7. Each of these action plans contributes to stopping one particular strategy of election rigging in Nigeria. I'll run through it. Number 1 is electoral reforms. And here, clearly, what we need is along the lines of Electoral Act amendment to make sure that it is mandatory for INEC to transmit election results real time from the polling units straight to the National Collation Center and then published instantly, real time, collated automatically. The manual thing should just be for backup and for administrative purposes. This is the very first action plan. Electoral reforms or electoral amendments. Now, this one depends on the people in National Assembly, on Tinubu's boys there. Now, number 2 through to 7 do not. Second action plan is political party reforms. We as Nigerians must ask ourselves this question. Are we going to wait until election day for us to stop rigging? If we wait for election day, is it not already too late to stop rigging? If we are going to prevent rigging, it must start now. We must put measures in place to make sure that rigging is impossible on election day. And the second action plan that we must engage in is political party reforms. Right now, the way the political parties are structured, ask yourself, can you, watching this video, pay for the nomination forms of any of these political parties, even when they say it is free? Can you? The fact that you need a lot of money to run elections in Nigeria is because of the political parties. If the political parties are sincere enough to say nomination form is free, we won't give forms to any member of the party that has not been a member for at least 2 years, so that at least you guard and shield off the political vultures that decamp during party primaries. If a political party decides that our mode of primaries is going to be direct primaries, so you eliminate the bottleneck of delegates, which is where corruption actually starts again. Do you think that if these are done at the political parties, do you think that people will be able to now force themselves as political godfathers on political parties? They won't. Do you think that it is only people who have stolen or people who know people who have stolen that will now be able to run for elections? Do you think so? So we need political party reforms. We need to call on the political parties to do the right thing. No political party should charge fees for nomination form. This is why people are running away to look for new political parties to register. If the APC and the PDP and the Labour Party and the political parties as we have them right now create level playing field for all Nigerians such that you don't need to pay for nomination forms. You don't need the delegate system or consensus system where the corrupt people gather themselves together and they plan their state capture. If we have a level playing field where the primaries are direct, where even the primary elections are electronic, such that even Nigerians in diaspora can participate from wherever they are in the world. If we had that, do you think that people will be looking to create new political parties? If they do, it will be minimal and it will be based on ideological differences. But right now, the APC, the PDP, the Labour Party, just name it, they are gatekeepers for shielding off Nigerians with good intention but shallow pockets. They are gatekeepers. So apart from number one, electoral amendment, we need to engage number two, to call for political party reforms. We need that. Number three is, if we have the Electoral Act passed and it is amended to make electronic transmission of results, electronic collation of results, and real-time publishing or display of the results from the polling unit, it is passed. That is going to be a tall order because it is Tinubu's boys you have in the National Assembly. But we can make them do what we want because power ultimately belongs to the people, even though it seems they have hijacked it. Now, even if we get the Electoral Act amended and passed and we are able to get Tinubu to assent to it, yeah? And then we get the political parties to engage in a reform. Does that mean that we as Nigerians will now sit down and say, yes, we have done it, let INEC now do the right thing? No. We will take it a step further and go to the third action plan, which is real-time election monitoring from our end with polling unit marshals. It means that we must have an application that helps us as Nigerians to collate, first of all, get the results from the polling units, and then we collate that result, and then we transmit it on our website parallel to that of INEC, such that ours will even be faster than that of INEC. That is the third action plan. And we need both technology and people for this to happen, this third step. The technology will be a web application that we have called Vote Vision. But the people, we will need a network of volunteers that will form the polling unit marshals. The polling unit marshals, 600,000 of them, networked across the 189,000 polling units in Nigeria, will be the foundation for entering the polling unit results from the polling unit into Vote Vision, where Vote Vision will automatically collate that result and display it real time in a website that we shall make available. So Vote Vision with the polling unit marshal forms the third action plan, which is real-time election monitoring. And with that, we can put INEC in check. Now, what happens if INEC decides to do their normal wuru-wuru, and then the security agencies decide to turn their normal blind eye, and the thugs come and do their magic, disrupt the things in the collation center like they normally do. And then because they come shooting guns in the air, disrupting people, and people being afraid for their lives, run. And a running man cannot be videoing. The situation now becomes such that there are no evidence. You don't actually capture the voices, the faces of anybody who is actually doing these things. Then the police will now say there's no evidence. Then you will actually not now have evidence to take in court. You will now need to rely on INEC for the arsenal to defend your case in court. No tenable or admissible evidence can be got when thugs come into collation centers and vote polling units shooting in the air. And that is why we need the 4th action plan, which is actually designed to help capture evidence as we go, such that once the election has ended, we have all the evidence, both in video, both in pictures, both in audio, both in data, to go to court the very next day. And the evidence will be so airtight that the judiciary will have no leeway, nowhere to hide to declare a wrong election as valid. Right now, they have always succeeded to tell us, go to court, because they know that we don't have sufficient admissible evidence to present. That was what we suffered in 2023. And even Peter Obi has admitted it. Many notable Nigerians have admitted it. But what have we done to make sure that once the election closes, we have all the legal admissible evidence that we need to to defend the election results in court? Because with the 3rd action plan, Vote Vision, we have all the data evidence to go to court. But with the 4th action plan, which is actually the Camp Guard is miniature Wi-Fi cameras that have batteries built in to last 24 hours and are even able to work with solar. They are so small, they are the size of my fingertips, such that you can just take 1 or 2 of them and put them in places you can't even know, in the polling unit area or in the collation center area. So that is the Camp Guard. And guess what? We have an app to aggregate the real-time transmitted video evidence, picture evidence, and audio evidence from those Camp Guards. At least, minimum, we will have over 10,000 of those Camp Guards, because we have over 8,809 wards. So our focus primarily will be at the collation centers from the ward level up. But once we have, or if we have the resources, we will take it beyond that and take it to as many of the polling units as possible. And then we'll have a situation whereby these Wi-Fi cameras are able to transmit real-time data into the web application that will help us aggregate the evidences, such that with the push of a button, the evidence is there for us to present. And working with the 3rd action plan, which is the Vote Vision, we are able to see in real time, where do we have overvoting? Where do we have illegal voting? Where do we have over accreditation? We are able to see that all in real time. And when the discrepancies are actually very, very significant, we are seeing it real time. 2027 will not be the same with Project Eagle, particularly with the different action plan in it. So Camp Guard will take care of evidence and ensure that the data we have from the 3rd action plan, which is Vote Vision, is admissible in court to defend our mandate, the mandate of the people. Now, the 5th action plan is de-weaponizing poverty in Nigeria. Poverty has been weaponized by the ruling elites to make sure that the poor continue to look up to them for welfare. And so he who pays the piper dictates the tune. So if the hungry people that they have made, that their policies have made, see that the only way they get help is through the same corrupt politicians, what will happen? The same hungry people will do the bidding of the same corrupt politicians. That's what will happen. What will happen will be more of vote selling. You'll be wondering, why will people sell their votes for 1,000 naira, for 500 naira, for 10,000 naira, for Indomie? Why? It's because of the weaponization of poverty. And guess what? That is what the Well Fund tackles. Well Fund tackles the weaponization of poverty. We de-weaponize poverty with Well Fund. And it is simple. It is a welfare for swarming swap. It is a teach the people to fish rather than give them fish. It is a different approach. Well Fund. The politicians think that when it is election time, they can take a small portion of their stolen wealth, take a small portion of it and use it to dangle baits, dangle palliatives in front of the people. And a hungry man thinks with his stomach, not with his brain. No matter how much we abuse Nigerians, that, oh, why don't they get smart enough to know they cannot sell their votes? No matter how much we do that, they will still sell it if they are hungry. So we need a weapon to de-weaponize the weaponized poverty. And that weapon is Well Fund. Teaching people to fish rather than the option of corrupt politicians giving them palliatives during election time. Palliatives that will not last them even a day, not to talk of 4 years. So we have to take tackle the problem head on from the source. We can't wait for election day. Like I said earlier, if we wait for election day, it is already too late. Well Fund takes care of that. Then number 6, which is the 6th action plan, is law patrol. One of the first things they do is to destroy the rule of law and to destroy due process. And how do they destroy the rule of law? They make pursuit of justice to be very, very expensive and takes a lot of energy. So many times in Nigeria, when Nigerians have their rights violated, because they don't have the financial capacity, they don't have the time because they have to work, they don't have the time to begin to pursue a case, they don't have the mind and the mental capacity, they just leave it like that. And because they leave it, what happens? Impunity continues to reign. We need to be able to come together to be able to defend the rights of Nigerians. If we fight individually, it becomes weak. What happens when they pick a very dark man or they pick an ordinary Ahmed? When we act individually, you know how a broom is. It is easy for a person, even a child, to just break the broomstick. But when we band together like a broom, even the strongest Iron Man or Superman cannot break the broom. We need to come together to fight breach of the rule of law, disrespect for the rule of law. We need to come together, and that is what Law Patrol does. When we fight this breach of the rule of law together, we take power from corrupt people and we bring everybody to be subject to the law, which is what rule of law is supposed to do in the first place. So that is the 6th action plan. The 7th action plan combines all of these into a political party that is actually a grassroots political engine. And that is the Abundance Party. We must form a party that creates a level playing field for all Nigerians. If not, what we'll have will be a recycling of the same political vampires. We don't want that. There are 2 things we must take into consideration in 2027. Peter Obi winning the election is just one part of the victory that Nigeria needs. The second part is all of the National Assembly members, all of the senators, all of the House of Rep members, the state houses of assembly, the governors, they also must be checked. In fact, the ones that are there right now, the likes of Akpabio, they must not return. And the only way we can ensure that and guarantee that is to make sure that we have a political party like Abundance Party. And we need you to make this possible. So these are the 7 action plan that constitutes Project Eagle. Tell me, with what I've said so far, do you think this can stop election rigging in Nigeria? Do you think this will help genuine candidates like Peter Obi to guarantee their victory in 2027? Do you think this will help the people to open up the political space such that people with integrity can participate? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. But then again, there is a way to maximize the information or the solution that Project Eagle actually delivers. We'll talk about it in the strategy that we believe Peter Obi and all opposition candidates must implement to make sure we rescue and take back Nigeria in 2027. It's beyond, it's not about fighting Tinubu, it's beyond Tinubu. We have to take back our country. So that strategy, what exactly is it? Let's talk about it in the next video.